The Amazon rainforest. To me, it was always more than just a place on a map. It was a living, breathing entity, a world of untold stories waiting to be captured through my lens. My name is Elena, and I'm a wildlife photographer. For years, I dreamt of immersing myself in the emerald heart of the Brazilian rainforest to document its raw, untamed beauty. My journey began in Manaus, the gateway to the Amazon. The air was thick with humidity and the scent of damp earth and blooming flowers. I hired a local guide named Kale, a man whose family had lived along the Rio Negro for generations. His eyes held the wisdom of the forest, and his quiet confidence was reassuring. For weeks, we navigated the labyrinthine waterways in a small, sturdy boat. Every day was a revelation. I photographed pink river dolphins dancing at sunrise, capuchin monkeys chattering in the canopy, and toucans that looked like jewels against the green tapestry. The forest was vibrant, a symphony of sounds and colors that overwhelmed the senses in the best possible way. I felt alive, connected to something ancient and powerful. Our routine was simple. We'd travel by day, and at night, we'd set up a simple camp, stringing our hammocks between trees. Kale would tell me stories of the forest spirits, of the ink. I'd listen, mesmerized, while reviewing the day's photos on my camera, the tiny screen a beacon of light in the profound darkness. One of my main goals was to photograph a jaguar. The elusive, powerful cat was the apex predator, the very spirit of the Amazon. Kale warned me, "The jaguar, she sees you long before you see her. You don't find the jaguar, she decides if she wants to be found." His words were a constant reminder of who was truly in charge here. After almost a month, we ventured deeper than most travelers go into a region known for its dense jaguar population. The feeling in the air changed. The vibrant symphony of the forest became more subdued, hushed. There was a tension, a sense of being watched. One afternoon, Kale pointed to a fresh set of massive paw prints in the mud near the riverbank. My heart hammered in my chest. We decided to set up a blind near a small clearing Kale knew was a frequent crossing point. For 2 days, we waited. The patience required for wildlife photography is a form of meditation, a complete surrender to the rhythm of nature. On the 3rd day, my patience was rewarded. As the golden light of late afternoon filtered through the canopy, she appeared, a magnificent female jaguar, her rosetted coat a masterpiece of natural camouflage. She moved with a silent, fluid grace that was breathtaking. I raised my camera, my hands trembling slightly. Click, click, click. I captured her drinking from a stream, her powerful muscles rippling under her skin. She looked up, her gaze piercing, and for a heart-stopping moment, our eyes met. It wasn't a look of aggression, but of pure, regal indifference. Then, as silently as she had arrived, she melted back into the shadows of the jungle. I was euphoric. That night, back at our small camp, I was too excited to sleep. I sat by the low fire, reviewing the images over and over. They were better than I could have ever hoped for. Kale was already asleep in his hammock a few yards away. The jungle was alive with nocturnal sounds, the chirping of insects, the distant call of a night bird. I felt a profound sense of peace. That was my first mistake. I let my guard down. I decided to take a short walk to the river's edge, just 100 feet from our camp, to wash my face in the cool water. I didn't take a flashlight, relying on the silvery light of the moon. That was my second mistake. As I knelt by the water, a sudden, sharp crack of a twig breaking behind me sent a jolt of pure adrenaline through my body. I froze. Slowly, I turned my head, and that's when I saw them. Two luminous, yellow-green eyes glowing in the darkness. They were low to the ground, and they were fixed on me. It was the jaguar. But this was not the same calm, indifferent animal from the afternoon. This was different. A low, guttural growl rumbled from its chest, a sound that vibrated deep in my bones. Panic seized me. Every instinct screamed at me to run, but Kale's voice echoed in my mind, "Never turn your back, never run." I tried to make myself look bigger, slowly rising to my feet. My heart was a drum against my ribs. I started backing away slowly, one step at a time, My eyes locked on hers. The growl intensified. She took a step forward, then another, her body coiled like a spring. The distance between us was shrinking. I was out of my element, a fragile intruder in her world. She was the queen here, and I had broken a sacred rule. I had trespassed in the dark. Then she charged. It wasn't a sprint, but a terrifying, powerful lunge. Everything happened in a blur of speed and force. I remember a flash of rosettes, the glint of teeth, and then an explosion of pain as she hit me. Her weight threw me to the ground, knocking the wind from my lungs. I felt a searing, white-hot agony in my shoulder as her jaws clamped down. The power was immense, unimaginable. I screamed, a raw, primal sound torn from my throat. Her claws raked down my leg, tearing through fabric and flesh. In that moment, I was sure I was going to die. The world narrowed to a terrifying tunnel of pain and the smell of the predator. Suddenly, there was a shout. Kale. He had been woken by my scream. I saw his silhouette running towards us, waving a flaming branch from our campfire. He was yelling in his native tongue, his voice filled with a desperate fury. The jaguar, startled by the fire and the noise, momentarily loosened her grip. That was my chance. I used every ounce of strength I had left to shove my camera bag, which was still slung over my body, into her fascie. The unexpected object in Kale's continued advance was enough. She released me, snarled one last time, and vanished back into the suffocating darkness of the jungle. I was left lying on the ground, shaking, bleeding, and gasping for air. Kale was at my side in an instant, his face a mask of concern. The pain was overwhelming, but I was alive. He worked quickly, using his knowledge of forest medicine to clean and bind my wounds as best he could. The journey back was a grueling, pain-filled haze. Kale navigated the river with an urgency I hadn't seen before, pushing our small boat to its limits. Every bump and jolt sent waves of agony through my body. When we finally reached a small village with a medical clinic, I collapsed. The recovery was long and difficult. I spent weeks in a hospital in Manus, followed by months of physical therapy back home. The scars on my shoulder and leg are a permanent reminder of that night. They tell a story of survival, of a terrifying encounter at the boundary between our world and the wild. But strangely, I don't feel hatred for the jaguar. I feel a profound respect. I was the one who was careless. I was the one who forgot the most important rule of the Amazon. You are always a guest, and you must respect your host. The attack changed me. It stripped away my romantic notions and replaced them with a much deeper, more humbling understanding of nature. The Amazon isn't just beautiful, it's brutal. It's life and death, locked in a constant, unforgiving dance. And that jaguar? She was just being a jaguar. She was defending her territory, her home, from an intruder in the night. My photographs from that trip, especially the ones of her from that afternoon, are the most precious I've ever taken. They show her as she should be remembered, not as a monster that attacked me, but as the powerful, magnificent, and wild spirit of the Amazon. I survived, and I carry the story etched into my skin, and I would go back in a heartbeat, not with arrogance, but with the deep, abiding respect she taught me that night. Thanks for listening to my story. If you found this compelling, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more adventures from the wild. Stay curious and stay safe.